right.
We're not playing.
That's right.
We mean business. You tell me, devil. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you. I'm speaking to you, devil.
Yes.
Over my
Yes.
life, over my family's life,
Yes.
over this church's life.
Yes.
I'm speaking to you directly. You have run us long enough,
Yes.
and the devil will stop today.
Yes.
Thank you. I thank you, Father God, that finances are going to overflow in this place.
Yes.
I thank you, Father God, that jobs are coming in. Father
Yes.
God, I stand upon the word
Yes.
that you said prosperity was coming back to Eastern Kentucky. And
Yes.
it's going to stay this time.
Yes. Thank
We're
you,
going
Lord.
to be faithful to you, Lord. We're
Thank
going to
you,
use
Lord.
wisdom with our finances this time, Lord.
Yes.
We're not going to
Thank
be
you.
blown about with every wind.
Yes.
We're going to be rooted and grounded in the Word of God.
Yes.
And we're going to be rooted and grounded on what we believe, and that is the Word. I
Yes.
thank you, Father God, for my pastor. I pray, Father God, right now, that finances just overflow here.
Yes.
That it rains down on us.
Jesus, running
Rains down on us, Lord.
Yes.
I pray finances rains down on us, Lord.
Yes. Thank you,
Glory to God. I thank you, Father God. Thank you, Father God, for every person that's here today, Lord.
Yes.
I thank you, Father God, that they give into the kingdom of God,
Thank you, Lord.
Lord, with righteousness and holiness
Thank you, Father.
and a joy, Father
Yes.
God. I speak joy over this congregation
Yes.
in our giving and our tithing.
Yes.
I thank you, Father God. Thank you, Father God, that we walk in divine health and healing with all of our needs met according to your riches and glory by
Thank
Christ
you, Lord.
Jesus.
Thank you,
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen. Hallelujah. Start stepping out. You were stepping high, Sissy.
That'll almost make you feel sorry for the devil. I said almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Glory. Yeah.
Got your Bibles turned to Acts. We didn't officially take up an offering. It's laying up here. If you want to give, freely give as God moves on you and the way He moves on you.
Yeah.
We're going to get straight in the Word. Acts chapter 12. Look at your neighbor and say, "You picked the wrong one, devil."
You picked the wrong one, devil.
And look at your other neighbor and tell them the devil picked the wrong one.
The devil picked the wrong one.
Now I got a word today. Only way you're ever going to lose. Only way that the child of God is ever defeated, ever overcome, is when we give up, when we cave in, or when we quit.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do not perform the action of quitting, you will not reap the result of losing.
That's
Amen.
right. That's right.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought Linda Jane woke you all up a little better. If you don't quit, you don't lose.
Amen.
I want to talk to you today about Peter. I like preaching on him. I've got 4 or 5 CDs in there about him. And one was called "If There's Hope for Peter, There's Hope for You." But
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope I live around him in heaven. He's a fisherman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can guarantee you, me and him, I'm not going to have no little pond around my mansion in heaven. You're going to have some kind of charter ship to get to my house in heaven. And I guarantee Peter's believing for that same body of water I am.
Yeah.
That's where the good fish are.
Yeah, I like him. Peter will cuss you out one minute and pray for you the next. Ah, come on now. That's how he was. He carried a weapon around. He wore a sword. Come on, now, can you imagine what that looked like in the synagogue when Peter come in and leaned his old sword up against the wall? Because I know he couldn't sit down with it. Oh, I like somebody like that. If you can say anything about Peter, you can tell a lot of things. He didn't do much of anything right at first. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need that character.
Yeah.
It don't do me much good when you tell me how good Daniel was at fasting and sacrificing himself and angels and stuff showing up. But when Peter's cussing you out, trying to kill you with a sword, denying that he's part of the church, that's exciting to me. Yeah. God can use me.
Yeah.
And his fishing business, it started out, and I'm going to get somewhere else, but Peter's fishing, and the crowd gathers around Jesus so much that there really ain't room to stand on the bank. So Jesus looks at Peter, and Peter gives his first offering to the Lord that day. He lets Jesus use his boat. Come on, that may not seem like writing a tithe check to you, but I know what it's like to care about my boats. And if I take my foot and push my bass boat over you for you to use it, that's as big an offering as I can sow anybody. Jesus stands up in that boat and preaches and teaches. And remember, Peter just sowed a seed into Jesus. Jesus gets done teaching, and it says Peter and them are cleaning their nets. They fished all night and caught anything. Brothers, how many of you ever been there? Yeah, all night long they telling you it's a good spot, this is the good bait. They killing them on it, and you drive 4 hours to Norris Lake and you fish all night and ain't caught anything. Well, I can tell you a fishing story. I restored an old Ranger bass boat one time. It was a Bassmasters Classic Edition. It was almost 30-year-old, and it looked like the day it come off the showroom floor. I had the motor redone, just beautiful. All the way to Tennessee, everywhere we stopped, people was coming over and saying, is that this model boat? Is that boat 30-year-old? And it looked, I'm so happy about that boat. I got my first management bonus at Walmart. My buddy with me got a tremendous bonus at Walmart. We had about $9,000 between us. We're going to spend at Bass Pro.
Wow.
I mean, blow it. Not no worrying about it. I actually went in Bass Pro and looked at my favorite spinnerbaits, and I asked that worker there, do you have any more? He said, yeah, how many do you want? I said, all of them. He said, what do you mean all? I said, if you got a pallet of them back there, you pull that pallet out here, I got $9,000 to spend. So we rented an A-frame house. There's two redneck boys that ain't never had no money that's finally got big Walmart money in their hands, and we're going to have a trip. Got my restored boat, and I fill it up with gas, and we finally hit Norris Lake, and I know where I can catch big smallmouth. Caught them there my whole life. It's that time of year. The weather's right. I run 31 miles to my favorite spot. As I'm pulling into my spot, the motor starts sputtering, the boat dies. I ain't all the way over to my spot yet. I'm sitting there. I'm not mechanical. All I know to do is go back and wiggle the battery cables and take them off and put them back on. I do all that and the boat won't start. I'm 31 miles from the ranch. Got more money than I ever had for a vacation, and my boat dies right when I get to my favorite spot. Come on, you ever been out there around the head of nowhere and your boat tear up? You can't paddle this boat in, it's too big. But I think I'm going to troll back 31 miles. It's going to take me 16, 17 hours to troll this boat back, and I'm learning about having a good attitude. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to troll over to my favorite spot, and then I'm going to troll all the way back where I started from. So I do. had the best time I've ever had on Norris Lake. I catch 151 giant smallmouth from my favorite spot back to where I'm going. Just my hands are bloody from living smallmouth, and I ain't spent none of that money yet. I've got that money in my pocket, but I'm thinking it's going to take this $9,000 probably to get this daggone. I'm going to spend it every bit on this motor. I'm fishing this one. Yeah, Pastor tells stories. It's my favorite. We get all the way back to the boat ramp. My buddy Philip is backing my Blazer and trailer into the water, and I'm sitting there and I look, and there's a gas tank switch that says left or right gas tank. Oh, I start getting mad. It took me 13 hours of trolling. It didn't take 16 like I thought, but I reached down and flipped that gas tank switch. Yeah, I filled up one tank, and the other one was turned on. My boat wasn't tore up. I just didn't have no more gas. I run 30-year-old gas out of that old tank that nobody'd ever used. What does that have to do with anything, Pastor? Well, it's a fishing story. It's funny. And it's kind of like Peter. If you look at Peter, you think there's no way he's ever going to reach greatness. And I came today for those people that your life has been one mistake, one wrong decision, one wrong choice after the other, and you feel like there's no way at this point in my life that God can do anything with me. Jesus gets done teaching. Peter had fished all night, had a night like I did that day. Hadn't caught anything. They're washing their nets. And Jesus tells Peter, put your boat back out there and cast your net over on the other side. He actually tells him cast his nets. More than one if you look.
Yeah.
Well, Peter's tired. Come on, you fish all night and you ain't caught anything. The only thing you want to do is a big breakfast and a bed. But it says he gets a net, goes out, drops it, and I hear people preach this like, oh, God can bless you in such a way. Peter dropped that net out. It starts breaking. It starts tearing. It starts sinking Peter's boat. Peter's in a mess. Sometimes God can bless you in a way that it causes a mess if you didn't listen and do it like He said to.
Yeah.
We like to preach that, it's a boat sinking, net breaking load that God's bringing on you. God never intended on sinking no boat or breaking no net. Peter was tired and sorry. Jesus said let down nets, and Peter dropped down one.
Yeah.
But if you look in that story, there's a bunch of men gathered around him. Jesus didn't use their boat. He didn't tell them to drop their nets, but they was in covenant with Peter. And they're about to get really, really blessed. That's a lot deeper than you think. Yeah. Jesus didn't step foot in their boat. He didn't tell them drop, but because they were in partnership with Peter, when Peter had such a load he couldn't haul, them men got to participate in Peter's harvest. What are you saying, Brother Todd? Peter sowed one seed of letting Jesus use his boat, and a harvest came in such a way he couldn't handle it, and those that knew and were close to Peter reaped the rewards of Peter being close to Jesus.
Amen.
Yes.
Come on, it's important who you hang out with.
Yeah.
That's my introduction. Now we're going to preach.
That's good.
Can you see Peter's always in a mess?
Yeah.
God trying to bless him financially, and he almost drowned. Cutting people's ears off, cussing. Come on.
Yeah.
Peter's a country boy. You know, over in Acts 4, when he got put in jail, him and John, the first time, Peter's in jail a few times. We're going to talk about one of them here today. They said that they were astonished because these is ignorant and unlearned men.
Yeah.
They didn't say he's wise, that Peter's ignorant. How's he got power? I want them to say that. I know what I sound like. Come on, I started preaching in prisons when them redneck comedians come out, and I had the advantage straight out of the gate and didn't know it. Them inmates was watching Jeff Foxworthy and watching Larry the Cable Guy, and here I come in.
Amen.
And they were saying this boy is unlearned and ignorant, but there's power on his life.
Praise God.
Amen.
Acts the 12th chapter. This is a time that Peter's in jail again. Satan's stupid. If jail didn't work on you one time, the devil ought to figure out that jail ain't going to work on you a second time. If the flu didn't work on you one time, Satan should be smart enough to know that the flu ain't going to work on you a second time, but we are fighting a stupid enemy.
Yeah, amen.
Acts 12. Now about the time Herod the king, he stretched forth his hands to vex certain of the church, and he killed James, the brother of John, with a sword. It's a bad day in the church. See, the Jews were weak people in them days. They wanted to do a lot of dirty things, but they didn't want to do the dirty stuff themselves, so they would always talk somebody else into doing it. Like at the cross. The Roman leaders said, we can find no fault in Jesus. Why don't you take Barabbas? And the Jews begged that they kill Jesus. They always trying to get somebody else to do their bad stuff. And come on, that's going on out there today. You ain't man enough to do your dirty deeds. That old AC/DC song, dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Well, it ain't no different today. There's a lot of dirty deeds going on that people are causing somebody else to do.
Yeah.
Come on, you don't have to give up because I broke out a little AC/DC. Most church music bores me to no end. I don't like it. You got a king named Herod. He's vexing the church, and James is dead. And he saw that it pleased the Jews, and proceeds further to take Peter also. They were in the days of unleavened bread. Herod figured out, and a lot of people, that they use this to slander the Jews. Like around here, we use a lot. He tried to Jew me out of that horse.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tried. Well, how did that phrase come about? Because God's people, the Jews, are very, very talented and very, very skilled at taking something that you can't work and making it prosper. Jews, they're good at making money. And his king figured out that the meaner I am to the church and the worse I treat the church, the more of that Jewish money that comes into my kingdom. He figured out when I'm cruel to the church, it pleases the Jews. Now, come on, kings ain't interested in pleasing nobody except them that blesses them. And it says, once he saw that pleased the Jews, he decided that he would capture Peter. Now, what's my title today? You picked the wrong one this time, devil.
Yeah.
Look at your neighbor and say, he picked the wrong one this time.
You picked the wrong one this time.
And say that about your own house, your own family, your own life. life, when Satan has come in to make a show of your home, a show of your health, a show of your finances, your attitude should be, this ain't my first time, devil. You picked the wrong one. Yeah. And it wasn't Peter's first time in jail. He don't react like the church normally would. And it says, and when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto God for him. That needs redneck. Yeah, you get talking quaternions. I ain't never had a quaternion in my yard in my neighborhood. But you got a king that figured out the meaner I am to the Jews, to the church, the more the Jews like me. Peter's a leader in this church. I'm going to take him out. You need to figure out one of the reasons Satan has hit you so hard, attacked you so thoroughly, is he actually believes in your place in the kingdom more than you do.
Yes.
He's not just wasting his time picking at you. He picked out Peter because Peter had been affected.
Yes.
And if I can make them happy killing church folks, I'm going to make them real happy if I take Peter out.
Yeah.
Says he gathered 4 quaternions of soldiers. How many is that, Brother Todd? I don't know. It's a great big pile.
Yeah.
How many of you have felt like 4 what?
It's 4 in the quaternion.
4 a
That's what
quaternion?
it says right here.
Okay, good. She looked it up and we trust her. He got 4 men on him. Great big pile. Have you ever felt like there wasn't one thing arrayed against you, but you was surrounded? There was things behind you, in front of you, beside you. Everywhere you turned, there was an enemy opposed you. And that king thought, if I can get these men around Peter, Peter ain't going to get away.
Yeah.
The devil's dumb. It ain't his first time in jail. 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending at Easter to bring him forth to the people. Peter therefore was kept in the prison, but prayer was made without ceasing from the church unto God for him. Now I'm going to tear that part up bad. Sounds like what you want. You're in a mess. Leaders of the world are arrayed against you to destroy you and take you out, and the brothers and the sisters are praying. Oh, we can shout on that. That sounds like what needs to be going on. But I'm going to show you today, this much praying really didn't have any effect on what's going on that day. Most of the time, the people praying for you, they don't have no idea how to pray.
Amen.
Yes.
We just like it. We're like that king. We like gathering up a crowd. It's like gambling. Maybe the more of you I get praying for me, one of you is going to accidentally hit God in a way that he answers Brother Todd's prayers. So if I can get thousands of you praying, one of us is bound to push the right button, turn the right knob to get God to move.
Amen.
Well, that's what we think. Told me that from the coma. I hear that all the time. Brother Todd, there was thousands of people praying for you. Yeah, and I heard how most of them was praying.
Yeah.
Take Brother Todd easy and slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It wasn't a crowd that got me through. It was 2 or 3 that was stubborn.
Yeah. That's right.
This king gathers up an army, gathers up people, got him in prison. He's going to wait till a church holiday. He's going to wait till Easter. And on Easter, where they celebrate Jesus raising from the dead, we're going to take Peter out. Have you ever noticed Satan tries to mark holidays?
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Family die around Christmas.
Yeah.
Car wrecks around Thanksgiving. See, his intentions are for the rest of your life. Every time you think of Thanksgiving or Christmas, it to have a bad memory.
Yeah.
Going to do this on Easter and going to kill him. See, Satan always looked at Peter's past and thought Peter's going to be an easy target because he remembered how when they took Jesus to the cross, Peter left the camp of the church, warmed his hands at the enemy's fire, denied him and cussed.
Yep.
I can get Peter. He's easy messed up. Come on. Peter was a professional fisherman, and a storm blew up on the water, and Peter's tore up. Lord, don't you care that we're going to drown? Come on, folks. That wasn't Peter's first storm in the boat.
That's right.
He's got them soldiers gathered around him. He's got him in the jail, and he's planning on Easter taking him out. I came today to tell you that Satan's gathered up a lot of help. He's got a crowd that he's brought around you, and he has full intentions. And he don't do anything but the Bible tells us but steal, kill, and destroy. Satan has came to take you out, but my message today is you picked the wrong one this time.
Amen.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, church. That's big. You ought to be helicopter shouting. You ought to be speaking in tongues, shaking. Ought to be big chill bumps on you. So if you can look the devil in the face in the middle of your tragedy, in the middle of your trial, and tell him you picked the wrong one.
Yeah. That's right.
This was a rough day.
Yeah.
Peter was used to preaching and 3,000 people getting saved. He's going back to jail. James has just been killed. We don't look at these stories and factor in. This was James that served on Jesus' ministry team with Peter, that sat at the Last Supper with him, that saw the signs and wonders, and this was his preaching buddy. And this day he's dead. It looks like it can't get no worse. And if I'm not preaching to anybody, that's who I'm reaching out to today. Those of you that life seems like there ain't nothing else can happen to make my life any worse. Everything I've touched has fell apart. Nothing I dreamed of is, but you think Peter dreamed of his buddy getting killed and going to jail? Come on, church.
Amen.
That's who we need to reach to.
Yes.
It felt like everything is over, but Peter's grown. Notice, he ain't cussing these soldiers. Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Before Acts 2 and the gift of the Holy Ghost coming into his life, you let these men come try and haul Peter off, they're going to be blood and hair laying everywhere.
Yeah.
Ah, come on.
Yeah.
Never forget at Walmart. The urge to fight had come on me in a powerful way. I had not been in a fight in a long time. And I'm very open and honest. There'd be customers say something stupid to me, and I want to hit them. And I tell God, I'd say, Lord, now you know what. One of the reasons God don't walk with us, we're fake. We ain't honest with Him. We act like church people or something they ain't, but
Yeah.
I'm standing over there telling him, Lord, I want to hit him. You know how much I like it. I ain't hit nobody in a long time, dog. Yeah. Really amplified with my Filipino Hawaiian nurse. Some of you heard that story, but I'll tell it again. My parents had a hospital stay. And there was this gentleman, was half Hawaiian, half Filipino, and absolutely the gayest, most homosexual human being I ever been around. Now, I've got homosexual friends. Y'all know my stance on that. But this fella was makeup, purse, and giving me willies. He comes in and waits on my dad, and I'm the traditional church folks. I don't believe in this homosexuality, so I look out the window the whole time that dude's in there. Yeah. Come on, he sat down a Louis Vuitton purse, and Jerry Savelle had a Louis Vuitton notebook, so it caused me to look at Louis Vuitton stuff, and that notebook is $850. That purse that this male nurse had is a $5,000 purse. It's a man. Come on, we in the hills, we ain't used to that. But God's dealing with me, and the verse I'm using when I want to hit people is God loves them as much as He does me. And I finally start praying that about that nurse. God, his sin ain't no different than mine. I'm the one judging. I get to watching, and he takes better care of my dad than anybody. I mean, he waits on dad. Careful with that. I start from getting the willies and weirded out about him, about to puke in a chair, to where I'm admiring that he's outdoing everybody in this hospital at taking care of my daddy. Sometimes our prejudices and our preconceived thoughts don't let us see the gift in somebody. If I could teach you anything today, is anybody you encounter, anybody you come up against, there's greatness in them. You just ain't choosing to see it. There's a king inside of everybody.
Yes. Amen.
Well, my dad gets out, and I've now got a thankful attitude for my homosexual Filipino Hawaiian nurse friend. I'm thankful for it.
Amen.
I'm not doing the church thing and judging him. I'm realizing that when my dad pooped in the bed, this man cleaned the bed more gentle and better than anybody.
Amen.
I'm back at Walmart, and I'm at the front of the store at customer service dealing with a mad customer. Got a managing buddy or two with me. And my nurse friend walks by and sees me. Stops. Waves at me. I wave at him. Comes and hugs me. I hug him back. And mean it. And then he looks at me, how's your daddy doing? And I tell him, oh, you were so good to my dad, so wonderful, my dad's doing good. And then he puts that hand on that hip, looks at me, and he goes, are you single? Redneck just started rising up in me again. Yeah, I'm back over in that. God, I've been telling you, I want to hit somebody. I'm going to knock him out, Lord, if you don't help me. Yeah, I'm thinking that this dude's about to put the moves on me. And I'm praying, Lord, I want to hit him. Bad. You know Walmart's going to fire me if I hit him. I start saying, Lord, you love him as much as you do me.
That's right.
And I'm saying, there's power in my words.
Yep.
I spend a lot of time developing. If I say something, it comes to pass. I don't play when I start saying it. I'm saying 4 or 5 times. And my buddies are standing there appalled. See, they ain't watched him clean their daddy up. They just see and he's got on high heels that day. Painted toenails. Another one of them purses. Now, I didn't see this one when I was looking for the Jerry Savelle notebook. I don't know how much it is, but it wasn't cheap. Lord, you love him as much as you do me.
That's right.
God said, tell him the truth. Now he's standing there, asking me, am I single? I said, yeah. I said, I be with a couple of girls, but I said, I tried to emphasize the girl part too. But truth is, I'm very single. And he goes, woo! And he does a little helicopter shout and runs out of the service desk area. My managing buddy looked up and said, I know you got God in your life. You handle it like that. You don't know I'm wanting to hit him. Well, we're standing there, and all of a sudden, my little homosexual nurse comes back like this. He's got a Hawaiian, Filipino, Korean girl in this hand, and a Hawaiian, Filipino, Korean girl in this hand. He comes to me. He said, what's that hip out of you? He says, I saw how you cared for your mom and dad. He said, you can tell by looking at me, I know a good man when I see you. Hit mode is coming back. Lord, I'm going to hit him. You love him much as you do me. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him. Then he says, these are my sisters. This one's old. This one's young. Girls, give this man your numbers.
Amen.
Now, I know how his culture works. I can tell you, I'm probably owner of 2 Filipino, Hawaiian, Korean girls. I'm pretty sure he gave them to me that day. What are you saying, Brother Todd? I wanted to hit him because I judged him.
Yeah.
He's trying to bless me.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, he's offering his sisters to me right there on the spot.
That's right.
Now I'm repenting. Lord, forgive me. I'm wanting to hit this man. Oh, what if? And I'm thinking, what if I busted his teeth out and left him laying on the floor when the whole time he had intentions of giving me his sisters?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there's wisdom in that. That person, church, I'm preaching to the church today. That person you are mad at, uncomfortable with, and don't like being around. I came today to tell you, you are the problem, not them. You just don't see the king in them.
Amen.
Oh, Brother Todd, did you call them? No, but I caused a fight in the break room. All boys at Walmart had been lusting after them Korean girls, and now they found out Bergie's got their numbers, and they're coming to me. Did he really give you his sister's numbers? And I dropped them on the break room table and caused a riot. But I ain't never told this part exactly this way. I'm a lot like Peter. Yeah, I get mad at a lawnmower, throw it over a high wall, cuss it out, and as I'm walking off, pray God forgive me for cussing. Come on. We need more reality in the church. You want to know why they ain't filled? For years, preachers has act like I've arrived at a place to where there's not any issues, and honest people having issues in life feels like, well, there ain't no use me going there. I ain't living good as them. Well, I came today to tell you, I've almost shot them. I've almost whipped them. I've cussed and stuff. I've got mad at taking my belt out. I miss a belt loop. Getting ready for church. Go to preach and miss a belt loop. I take my belt back out and rip them pants in too. Like, boy, it's them pants' fault. I still ain't learned at 40-some-year-old how to put a belt on. Ah, come on. There's a lot of you look real pretty, but the whole way to church, you was swarping at them kids behind you, pulling at that man, and when it comes time after church to decide where to eat, you all gonna have a brawl over where we're going to eat. I just got a microphone and I tell it.
Amen.
Don't you think that ain't right? You sitting in the parking lot, sitting around telling them little yard apes how stupid they are. You let the preacher walk by the car. You quit hitting the kids and it's like, oh, Pastor, how you doing this morning? Bless you. Come on.
Yeah.
That's why they ain't in our churches.
Amen.
Yeah.
They see the fake. Nothing fake about Peter. No. He sees Jesus walking on water. Peter is in such a stirred up state. He steps out of the boat and half drowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's the kind of crazy people I want around me.
Yeah.
And if you ain't never got mad at a pair of breeches, a kid, or a lawnmower, I don't know if you'll fit in around here. But that next day at Walmart, I am aggravating two of my close friends. I'm the manager, and I'm quarreling that my favorite chewing gum ain't out there at the register. I'm just playing, I'm saying things like, it's a shame Walmart pays me this much money to manage this store and I can't even get my own chewing gum. And they're telling me, it's out there, Todd, and I know it ain't. I went by there and they got to prove to me and I ain't even over and looked. I'm just playing. So they take me over to my favorite chewing gum and I feel somebody walk behind me. Turn around. It's a 65-year-old man. He's got a 14-year-old girl by the throat and by the hair. He just touched my pants, choking her. What does that have to do with anything? I've been telling God I wanted to hit somebody. Yeah, I want to do it real bad, but I'm using restraint. And I see this old man choking this young girl. Yeah, it's on. Oh, yeah, it's anointed this time. Yeah. Come on. We had some old men not afraid to whoop some other men over kids. We wouldn't have the issues we have today.
Amen.
That's exactly it.
You out there and you touch a woman, you better not go behind my register. I don't care if she's 14-year-old or 60.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
And I know it. Oh, it's on. I'm not asking for help. I'm not calling our security. I'm not calling the rest of the management team. Next thing I know, I got the old dude by the throat, and I tell him, you got about a half a second to let go of her, and he don't. So you know what happens? I hit him into the ice machine. He gets back up, and I knock him over into the bread, and I hear the voice of God. Did it feel as good as you thought it would? Right in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm saying, yeah, it did. And I look up and An off-duty police officer shopping. Sees this man in the floor and he draws back and he says, "What's going on?" And I turn and look and you can still see his handprints on that girl. I said, "You trying to kill that girl? I'm just defending her."
Yep.
That ain't like it is on TV. That officer didn't stand him up nicely and say, "Sir, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can, will, no." That officer hit him about twice and stood him up and said, "Where are you from?"
Yeah.
Well, come to find out, that little girl's aunt had met him on Facebook yesterday. He drove in from New York. Yeah. Yeah. Not only did I get to hit him, but the police officers got to escort him to the county line with a very nice word of, "We're not going to arrest you. You come back around here, they're going to find you laying in the woods somewhere."
Yeah.
Come on.
That's
So
right.
what are you telling us that for? That's how Peter was.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's right. That's right.
And the devil ain't smart enough to see that there are some men that'll give Jesus their boat, that'll almost drown trying to get to him, that'll be so hurt when he dies that they're cussing and leaving the church. Satan ain't smart enough to understand that Peter drew a sword to try to protect Jesus. Sometimes the devil just don't know who he's messing with.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
He's picked the wrong one this day.
Amen. That's exactly.
Yeah. Peter's growed, and Herod thinks it's making the Jews happy to be mean to the church. He kills James, and they put 4 men around Peter. Put him in jail. Satan picked the wrong one that day.
Yeah.
See, Peter, and his first time even being in jail, but look what the church is praying. I'll show you in a minute. That bunch is praying, but they're just making a bunch of noise. Yeah, I'm burping. I drink a lot of water. And it says, the church was praying without ceasing. Herod would have brought him forth. The same night, Peter was sleeping between 2 soldiers, bound with 2 chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. Peter ain't cussing nobody out today. I'm thinking of Mac, his buddy James is slaughtered in the street. He's chained to a soldier on each side, and there's guards at the door, and he's asleep. Sometimes the best thing you can do when life has fell apart and it don't look like anything's working, any prayers being heard, any actions being taken from heaven, is to just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Come on, you know doubt, fear, and unbelief will keep you up.
Yeah.
You'll worry and you'll worry and you can't sleep and you'll toss and turn. Can you agree Peter's at a new place?
Yeah.
He's sound asleep between 2 guards.
Yeah.
You can have rest in faith right in the middle of what's sent to destroy you.
Yes. Yes.
Come on, that's big.
Yes. Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Can I go a little bit further? You know what? We'll know how Peter learned to do that? That time they woke Jesus up in the boat. This ain't just a Peter. Peter saw Jesus in the midst of a storm, so sound asleep on a boat that he didn't wake up. Peter knew when life gets rough and it looks like you ain't going to survive it, don't get in fear to get you rebuked.
Yeah. Yeah.
They wake Jesus up and he rebukes them. So now Peter is simply doing what he saw Jesus do.
Yes.
Oh, church, that's real good. You ain't heard that part of that preach.
Amen.
Yeah.
You know what the biggest thing you can do is is act like Jesus on the worst day you ever faced. Remember how he handled bad things. Peter's thoughts was, Jesus got on to me the last time I didn't get a good night's sleep in a mess. And he's not going to get on to me twice.
Yeah.
Hey, you got to learn from it. I'm not going to threaten to kill no more homosexual nurses. I'm going to bless them.
Yeah.
Because I figured out they're more compassionate than you church folk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Church folk mean.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
You get their taters wrong today after church, and they don't have to talk to management about my taters. Peter's doing what he saw Jesus do. If we can do what we see Jesus do,
Yeah.
Satan will figure out he's messed with the wrong one.
Yeah.
Come on, he's expecting Peter to make a show. He's expecting Peter to cuss, to fight, to try to get out of it, and he is in there sound asleep. The greatest thing you can do is just not react to the devil.
Yeah.
And then look at this. And behold, an angel of the Lord came upon him. On your worst day, in your darkest moment, if you can rest in God, I assure you that help is already on its way. It's not going to be seen in a day or two. It already knows where your dark place is, your dungeon is. It knows where you're bound. It knows where you're captive, and help is on the way. Look at your neighbor and say, help is on the way.
Help us on that.
You messed with the wrong one this time, devil.
Yes, you messed with the wrong one this time, devil.
Now look at this. An angel of the Lord came upon him, shined the light in the prison. There's a lot of you. Anybody touches a light in your house, you wake up. There's some of us that may go to the bathroom, we're awake, and then we have that confession. Once I wake up, I'm going to be up all night, and I ain't going to get no sleep tonight. They turned my fan off, or I didn't take my fan. We're both extremes. Some of us, we got to have a fan running in the dead of winter, and some of us, if they hear that fan, they ain't going to sleep. Yeah. Peter's asleep between two soldiers chained up, doing what he saw Jesus do. An angel shines a light. Now, I come to imagine an angel's light is better than your redback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. You can get in them fancy surefire gun lights. I still think an angel's better. But look, he shined the light to smoke Peter in the side. Peter's resting. He's not moved by what he sees. He's not moved. He's resting, and an angel's light came. And to get him up, it don't say the angel gently. So go look at the times people were smoked in the Bible. I wanted to smoke that homosexual marriage. Smoked in the Bible is a good hard liquor.
Yeah.
So in other words, this angel's having trouble waking Peter up. You should be at such a place in faith that it don't really impress you when the manifestation comes. If you believed you received it when you prayed, you're not going to get more excited about it when it's in your hand. No, I do my excitement when I pray. When it comes, I'm not shocked that it's there. I expect it.
Yeah.
Amen.
He's having a hard time getting old Peter up, smoking, turning on lights. And it says he raised him up. He turned the light on. He hit him, and he grabs Peter and picks him up. Peter's, well, it's good to be in faith.
Oh, yeah.
You may not be getting much out of this, but I can watch your sleep patterns. Tell if you're in faith or not. If it's worried. And he had a right to complain. They just killed my buddy.
Yeah.
I'm chained. I'm in jail. I'm beside these old stinkies. No. Faith people, I can't wait to see how God gets me out of this. I saw Jesus in a storm sleep. I'm going to act like him.
Amen.
Yeah.
He stands him up. This gets real funny. Tells him, rise up quickly, and the chains fall off. An angel said, gird yourself, bind on thy sandals, and he did, and cast your garment on you and follow me. Redneck that. He stands him up, tells him, wake up, we gotta go. You do it quickly, put your shoes on, pull your breeches on, it's cold out, put your coat on.
Yeah.
You want to tell me angels ain't involved
Yes, I know.
in getting you to your manifestation?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're going to shine the light. They're going to shake you. They're going to smote you. They're going to stand you up. They're going to warn you that we got to move quick. They're going to remind you to put your shoes on, put your breeches on. It's cold out. Don't forget your coat.
Yes. Yes.
And you know what Peter's doing? The chains fell off. That angel did some kind of hocus pocus and made them chains fall off. Two guards are still sitting there. They ain't woke up. It's a lot of racket going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, church. It's
Yeah.
good.
Good.
Yeah.
Gird yourself, bind on your sandals, cast your garment about you, and follow me. And he went out and followed him. And wist not that it was true which was done by the angel. He thought he saw a vision. Peter don't even know this is really happening. He thinks, I'm having a dream about I'm having a vision about breaking out of jail. He don't even know. He's following him out of jail. Oh, if that ain't the perfect picture of the church.
Yeah. Yeah.
God's woke you. You used to be asleep.
Wow.
He's shining a light on you. You used to be in darkness. He's dropped the chains off of you. You used to be bound. He's put shoes on you and clothed you. You used to be naked and ashamed, and you don't even know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told you, this is where I got real excited last night looking at this. You don't even know it. You don't realize that the darkness you was in yesterday, a light's on. The bondage you was in yesterday, the chains are off.
Amen. Yeah.
It used to hurt for you to walk. Come on, we don't play barefooted anymore. You go out in the gravel, it hurts.
Yeah.
Where Peter used to have a hard time walking, he got his shoes on, we don't even notice.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh yeah. I came today to tell you the light's brighter than you've recognized. He is telling you to rise up and don't be slow about it. Let's do this quick.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord. Yes.
You don't even recognize the chains that used to be on you ain't hanging on you anymore. The enemy that used to be there to kill you has fell asleep at their duty. You've messed with the wrong. If we can realize what's happened, you've messed with the wrong one this time.
Yes.
Amen.
Peter's thinking, oh, this is a good dream. I'm having a vision that I'm breaking out of jail. And when they were past the first and second ward, they came unto the iron gate that leads to the city, which opened to them of its own accord. It's what no automatic doors at Walmart. That used to have a lot more men. We're used to that. Now we go to IGA, the door is open for us. This was a big iron gate. And when Peter and the angel started walking out, that big gate opened up.
Yeah.
He went past the first ward and the second ward. What does that say, Brother Tom? I came today to tell you, you've already come a long way.
Yeah.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord.
Hear my heart in this.
Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
You've already came further than you realize.
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Lord.
Yes.
That getting past that first ward was really not a possibility.
Wow.
You don't just walk out of prison. I've ministered there. You don't just walk into them.
Right.
Yes.
You've came a lot further than you even see. Past that second ward and now that iron gate that took a pulley system and opens on its own. If you can realize where God's brought you from yesterday,
Thank you, Lord.
been a long time since I cussed my belt loops. That may not sound like much to you, but I dressed myself today like a full-grown man and never tore up anything.
Amen. Yeah. Amen.
Started my lawnmower all year. Ain't busted it, ain't hit it, ain't kicked it, ain't cussed it, ain't put it over a hill.
Amen.
What are you saying, Brother Todd? I realize that I may not be where I want to be, but I've already came past that first ward. I've came past that second ward, and that big gate that seemed like nobody could overcome it just opened up for me.
Amen. Thank you, Lord.
Good church.
Thank you, Lord.
The iron gate that leadeth to the city opened to them of its own accord. They went out and passed on through one street, and the angel departed from him. They get over to a street. Peter's free. Why'd the angel leave? Ain't no guards there no more. Ain't no chains there no more. Ain't no darkness there no more. Ain't no bonds. Ain't no first ward. Ain't no second ward. Ain't no gate. He's free. I came today to tell you, you are freer than you've ever figured out.
Yes.
Cool air hits Peter.
Thank you, Lord.
Because it says this, and Peter was come to himself. Faith people believe in victory so much that when the manifestation is at hand, and nothing ain't no different. I'm believing for $5,000. I actually believe it when I pray. I cry about it when I pray. I shout about it when I pray. I thank God about it when I pray. You put the check in my hand, don't expect no big crazy reaction. I already believed I had it.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's what Peter's going through. He saw Jesus do it in the boat.
Yeah.
I'm going to sleep in a storm.
Yeah.
Now I'm awake, I'm outside.
That's good.
What he dreamed about is now happening, and then it says this. He come to himself, and he knows of a surety the Lord sent an angel and delivered me
Yeah.
from all the expectation of the people of the Jews. He considered the thing, and he came to the house of Mary, the mother of John, whose surname was Mark. There were many gathered together praying. What's that prayer meeting about? Peter.
That's what it means.
They in there, Lord, help Peter survive this trial in his life. They killed James. Oh, Lord, they're going to kill Peter. They're in there praying for Peter, and Peter's standing outside the door.
Yeah.
Yeah, bunch of them. What do you say about that, Todd? Most of the time, church, you're wasting prayer energy, praying all night, gathering up a group, and what you're seeking is already at the door.
Yeah.
You know how I know that? Jesus is the door.
Yeah.
When they put the nails in his hands, they put the top hinge on the door. They put the nails in his feet, the bottom hinge was on the door. When they stood the cross up, the door that day stood between heaven and earth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a message in itself. Men could now enter into heaven because there was a door between heaven and earth. Technology.
Yeah.
Is it recorded?
Oh, yeah, we're still recording. We just got a big
Peter
hand in the
goes
picture.
to the church, wanting to celebrate. I found out my faith victories have not always caused a celebratory reaction from church folk. They're not happy when you get healed.
Yeah, it's true.
What they say about you is them stories Todd tells them ain't true.
Yeah.
Wait till you prosper.
Yeah.
Ain't no preacher ought to have that much money.
Yeah, that's right.
Keep them humble. Come on.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Is the church don't celebrate your victories, but you're going to have to learn to sleep in your storm like
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yes.
That's good, yeah.
He shows up at the church. It sounds like a spiritual day. They're praying. Peter knocks at the door. A damsel came named Rhoda. I ain't never heard of her before this. I can't find her anywhere in there after this. I don't know who she is. But she's a lady at the Peter prayer meeting that hears Peter knocking at the door.
Yeah.
What's he doing? He's trying to get back in the church that he fellowshipped. Sometimes after God does something real big in your life, it's hard to get back in the church that you fellowshipped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rhoda, whoever she is, it says, and when she knew Peter's voice, she opened not the door for gladness, but ran and told how Peter was at the gate. And they said unto her, Thou art mad.
Yeah. Yeah.
She heard him preach. In today's world, she probably would have had his CDs. Because it says she recognized his voice.
Yeah.
She's excited to tell him Peter's free, and them all-night praying church folks tells her, little Rhoda, you're wrong.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
You're crazy.
Yeah.
I came today to let you know you need a Rhoda, and when you hear her, she ain't crazy and she ain't wrong.
Amen.
Yeah.
You're mad, girl. But she consistently affirmed that it was so. Well, then one of the spiritual folks in the praying group come up with this idea. It's an angel.
Yeah.
Now, how come you can't believe Peter's knocking at the door, but you can believe there's an angel knocking at the door? And if you ain't seen that in our crazy Pentecostal services, I'm tired of churches shaking all over the front of the church saying there's feathers in the floor. Well, I'm really going to get on your stuff. Gold dust dropping. Brother Todd, are you going to go there? Yes! Yeah, I am. Angels has got feathers. I don't know if you ever hugged a woman that had gold-colored stuff on her clothes. When you raise up from her, they sparkly stuff on your clothes.
Yeah.
I'm not freaked out that there's gold and feathers These angels surrounding us.
Amen.
It ain't a sign that God decided to take this city. God already wanted to take this city. How come the church can believe in angelic moves, but when a man of God that went through trials and tribulation and struggled and never gave up and never caved in and never quit shows up at the church, we don't believe him.
Yeah, yeah.
Amen. Amen.
Oh yeah.
Amen.
No, I don't. Gold dust ever starts falling around me, I got better sense than the rest of them. You know what I'm gonna do? Go back there and get the biggest garbage bag I can
Take
find.
it up.
I know that ounces of this stuff is about $47 sometimes.
Yeah.
Come on, we get silly in Pentecostal churches. You start looking for that stuff, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
made some of you mad. I don't care.
Well,
I want real.
yes.
Yes.
It must be an angel. But Peter continued knocking. His prayer group ain't let him in yet. They praying for him. Come on, church.
Yeah.
Old Rhoda's saying, I know his voice. You're a crazy woman, or it's an angel, but Peter's knocking. They saw him and was astonished. And he beckoning unto them with the hand to hold their peace. Declared how the Lord had brought him out of prison, and he said, Go and show the things unto James and the brethren. And he departed and went to another place. Come on. What's Peter doing? He's testifying. God did this for me. If you read on, go on to the end of this, verse 21. And upon a set day, Herod, the one that killed, the one that had Peter arrested, arrayed in royal apparel, sat upon his throne and made oration unto them. And the people gave a shout, saying, This is the voice of God, and not a man. That angel still in town. Immediately the angel of the Lord smote him. Remember what I said about Peter? He smote him to wake him up. He's smiting again. He smote him. This is the voice of a God, not a man. And immediately the angel smote him because he didn't give God the glory. And he was eaten up with worms and gave up the ghost. And the word of God grew and was multiplied. You may have struggled at what God has called and assigned you to do. Like we're struggling keeping the phone on the stand. Come on, you may have struggled.
Yeah, that's right.
You may have almost drowned. You may have almost killed somebody. You may have denied him. You might have a problem with cussing. You may have an anger issue where you're trying to kill people. You may be one time almost drowned in church as a miracle working power of God was moving. And you may find yourself today in the worst place anybody could be in. Your friends have died around you and you're bound. If that's you today, look at the devil and tell him, you messed with the wrong one this time.
Yes,
Right,
this is
yes,
the
right.
wrong one this time.
I'm not going to fight devil.
Yes.
I'm not going to cuss. I'm not going to be afraid.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And when I get out of this, God's going to have to wake me up.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to rest.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Everybody stand.
Amen.
Say it one more time. You messed with the wrong one, devil.
Mess with the
Yes.
wrong one.
Ain't angels are already on their way.
Angels are already on their way.
What binds me is going to fall to the floor.
What binds me is gonna fall to the floor.
Where it's dark is going to be light forevermore.
Where it's dark, it's gonna be light forevermore.
Where I could not walk,
Where I could not walk,
I'll follow with ease.
I'll follow with ease.
And when there's gates in the way,
When there's gates in the way,
I won't even have to say please.
I won't even have to say,
please.
Everything stopping me
everything stopping me
will open to me.
will open to me.
me.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.